Scripted moments abound on television. However, from time to time, an event takes place, something captivates us emotionally as it breaks through the screen. That's precisely what happened when America's morning TV darling Kelly Ripa started crying. She shocked and surprised millions of people by revealing something so personal and unexpected. Mark Consuelos, an actor and her husband, is battling cancer. This wasn't your average celebrity news story. It was a relatable tale of love, terror, and overcoming adversity. However, what caused that devastating on-air meltdown, and what has transpired subsequent to it? Keep reading because I'm about to reveal the shocking and inspiring truth of Kelly and Mark's journey. Intercut with a title card. I broke down on air with Kelly Ripa. The cancer battles of Mark and Swillow are revealed. Just like any other morning, it began. Kelly and Mark hit it off with some lighthearted banter. The studio was filled with laughter. Midway through the performance, though, the tone changed. Things got weird for Kelly. As she attempted to gather herself, her hand quivered. Afterwards, it transpired. She finally broke down and revealed the secret that had been bothering her for some time. Cancer has been Mark's adversary. The crowd let out a gasp. Filming continued unabated. This happened in front of the entire globe, and Kelly, who is usually very composed, lost it. A tsunami of empathy and innumerable inquiries into the truth behind the scenes would result from such unfiltered candor. In order to grasp the seriousness of that moment, we must return to its origins. While filming All My Children in the 90s, the vivacious, intelligent, and relentless Kelly Ripa met Mark Consuelos. The on-screen connection that blossomed into a real-life romance was intense. They were married for decades after an elopement, and they raised 3 children in the public eye. Fans saw them as more than just famous people. They proved that love could triumph over the constraints of Hollywood. There was no sensation of stranger's news when Kelly sobbed over Mark's cancer battle. We were in the midst of our own living rooms of tragedy. The mundane and draining reality at home was hidden from view by the cameras. Kelly was juggling work, motherhood, and the tremendous load of caring while smiling for viewers behind closed doors. Picture all the trips to the hospital that will need to be made in the middle of the night. The parents spoke softly to each other in the kitchen as their children slept. In those moments of alone, Kelly fought back tears and prayed for strength she doubted she possessed. They had entered the invisible part of their narrative. That part of the story where love became about more than simply romance, it became about staying alive. Mark Consuelos' charisma and power have earned him admiration for a long time. However, cancer serves as a tremendous leveler. Even the most powerful among us are humbled by it. Mark showed incredible bravery in the face of his diagnosis, according to those closest to him. Instead of giving in to his fears, he decided to be grateful. He is grateful for his family, for the prompt detection, and for the opportunity to fight again. Actually, it was Mark who reassured Kelly during her lowest points, saying, "We'll get through this together." No sickness could ever hide the truth that was revealed by that simple pledge. They were inseparable. The news was especially devastating for Joy, Lola, and Michael, who are the Consuelos' children. In spite of their individual ways of dealing with it, they rallied behind their father as a unit. The eldest, Michael, established himself as a reliable guardian. As a highly sensitive person, Lola poured her heart into uplifting lyrics and music. At a time when it was much needed, the youngest, Jochen, restored laughter to the house. Kelly and Mark found strength in witnessing their children's rally. Despite the tragedy, the family remained intact. It became solid. Gratitude for Kelly's family, faith, and community has never been a secret for her. However, she did confess something more profound this time. It frightened her. "I wept more than I ever have before," she admitted in a subsequent interview. "But then it hit me. Crying isn't a sign of weakness. Having them is a relief. Hope is created by them." Many of the millions of viewers could relate because they had been through something similar. By letting her guard down, Kelly made her suffering relatable, and in doing so, she showed us that we are all weak but yet capable of great strength. Quickly, word got around about Mark's suffering. The internet was inundated with emails, prayers, and accounts of survival from fans. Kelly received messages of support from people who had been through cancer, telling her that she wasn't alone. The amount of love expressed was tremendous. Kelly and Mark saw it as evidence that kindness can overcome hatred and animosity in this divisive day. This was becoming more than just their fight. Strangers from all throughout the country came together in a common struggle. As viewers, what lessons can we glean from the story of Kelly and Mark? There is tremendous simplicity in the message. Love is unfair. Love, co-host of Live with Kelly and Mark, Kelly Ripa, made an emotional and heartbreaking moment for fans when she broke down in tears live on air and talked about the problems her family has been going through. At a very weak point, she told him that her husband, Mark Consuelos, had been sick with cancer. It was clear how raw and emotional the situation was, and her tears told a lot about the love, fear, and strength she has felt on this hard road. It's not a surprise that the news upset Kelly's fans. The famous host is known for her bubbly nature and funny interactions on TV, but this emotional performance showed a different side of her. People have long thought of Ripa as the picture of calm and charm, and she often handles the demands of her job and family life with ease. But at that moment, the mask of beauty fell, showing that even the toughest people can break when they are dealing with something as terrible as cancer. We felt the news more strongly because Kelly and Mark have been on TV together for so long. You can feel how well they get along, and their love story is one of the most famous in Hollywood. Since they've been married for decades, their relationship has shown how to work together, support each other, and be committed. Kelly's breakdown shows how much her husband's health problems have affected her. It also showed the mental toll caregivers take, which is hard to see because they have to support their loved ones while also dealing with their own fears and feelings of helplessness. There was no hiding Kelly's sadness during the show. The words were hard for her to say, but she kept going with her heart on her sleeve. This wasn't just about Mark's illness. It was also about their relationship and how hard it is to deal with the unknowns in life. Not only is cancer hard for the person who has it, but it's also very hard on their family and friends. Kelly's public showing of weakness became a symbol of the emotional work that caregivers do that is often ignored. Her words were not just about her own experience. They spoke to millions of people who may have had similar problems with their own families. She spoke with understanding and empathy, showing that everyone has to deal with hard things in life. Kelly's openness made her more likable than ever, and in a world where famous people are often seen as untouchable, her tears showed us that even the greatest people can break down. Mark has also been a famous person in the entertainment business. He has been Kelly's quiet supporter for a long time, rarely talking about his own problems with the public. However, Kelly's tearful statement showed how serious the situation was. People in the room were moved by her bravery as she talked about how cancer has changed their lives. Not just Mark's health, but also their whole family. Her honesty made me remember that life isn't always about the beautiful scenes we see on TV. It's about how we handle the worst times with love, grace, and unity. People also talked about the role of support systems and how important it is to be aware of mental health issues after Kelly's fall on air. Caregiving is often a job that is done alone, without thanks, and without being noticed. Many people who watched Kelly's emotional outbursts were reminded to respect the people who care for them and to get help when the stress gets too much. She helped start a talk that a lot of people don't want to have, and she showed how complicated love, family, and hard times can be. Ultimately, Kelly's emotional breakdown on air wasn't just about Mark's cancer. It was about how we all deal with hard times with the people we care about. What a powerful warning that everyone fights, even those who seem to have everything. The story of Kelly and Mark's journey will continue to inspire people, and Kelly's honesty has shown that sometimes being weak is the strongest thing you can be.